It's Nikki.
And it's Brie.
And we're
Late to the Party.
A podcast about the film, fashion, and pop culture moments that shaped us into the weirdos that we are. And today, we're talking about 2018's A Star is Born, starring Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. I like
Gaga.
Brie?
Yeah.
I just wanted to take another look at you.
Do you remember the memes after that, by the way?
Yes. Yes. This movie I feel very qualified for because I was around in 2018, obviously.
You were born.
I was born. I mean, when Lady Gaga came onto the scene, A Star was born.
Yes.
So I've been a Lady Gaga stan. I've been a little monster since I was a youth. So I've always rode for her.
Yeah.
So when 2018 came about, like, I've seen A Star is Born a handful of times, maybe 4 times in the theater. Like, I was obsessed. So yes,
I remember this.
Long story short, I remember the meme. I
remember every moment. I remember
everything.
When Gaga gave her 100 people in the room speech.
Yes.
There can be 100 people in the room and 99 don't believe in you and just one does.
You only need one person to believe in you.
Yeah.
And that person's Bradley Cooper.
That's right.
Yeah. Or me believing in Lady Gaga.
That's you. Just, woo.
I just wanted to take another look at you.
You to Gaga.
Yes. Yeah, A Star is Born. I feel like now that we've broadened our horizons, I feel like this podcast, it did start off just simply movies that we wanted to talk about, but we did go down the road of like, oh, let's revisit all the movies from our childhood. So like very like early 2000s.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But
We've expanded.
we have expanded.
I think that's good.
I think so too. Maybe it's time to let the old ways die. You know?
Yeah.
Just like Jackson Maine says.
So true.
But
we're far from the shallow now.
we are. We're off the deep end. Watch as we dive in.
That could be our new intro from here on out.
It's so silly. In 2018, I feel like if I had a podcast, it would only be about A Star is Born. I would have never shut up about it.
Oh, you could have done like a whole deep dive. Yeah. Oh, it could be called like Off the Deep End or like, yeah, something.
Far from the Shallows.
Yeah, just like really.
Only talk about that Blake Lively movie with the shark. Far from the Shallows.
Do you think on this podcast, you'd be like over-analyzing all the interactions between Gaga and Bradley Cooper off screen?
100%. I'm about to do that in this hour and a half.
Yeah.
So get ready. Buckle up.
Yeah, I'm
Brie.
buckled. I am buckled. I'm strapped. I'm ready.
Strapped. So yeah, A Star is Born is the 2018 musical romance drama film produced and directed by Bradley Cooper in his directorial debut. And it stars Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga, Dave Chappelle,
Woo.
Andrew Dice Clay, and Sam Elliott.
Woo,
And
yeah.
it follows an alcoholic musician played by Cooper who discovers and falls in love with a young singer played by Gaga. Which there's been 4 A Star is Borns. So you know, it's the A Star is Born plot at this point.
Which I have never seen the others, but I kind of want to see like the Barbra Streisand one at least.
I revisited that one recently.
Oh, you did? How was it?
I have a really hot take.
Oh, lay it on me.
Well, okay, this could be a generational thing, but Lady Gaga is my Barbra Streisand,
Yeah.
just for starters.
I know what you mean.
The way like Rachel Berry in Glee feels about Barbra Streisand is the way I feel about Lady Gaga. Like she's the blueprint for every gal who has a big nose.
Yeah.
And loves musical theater. Like
I mean, for our generation at least.
100%. She's our generation's pop star. And like she's like Barbra Streisand. She's like Madonna.
Yeah.
Rolled into one.
She is. I mean, she's talented. Like she really does like play the piano. Like she can do like slow songs and poppy songs. She can do jazz.
She
Tony
excellent.
Bennett. You know, I could talk about that. That would be my podcast. Just talking about her and Tony Bennett.
I mean, excellent. And anyways, my point about A Star is Born, the 1970s one, I don't have that connection with Barbara.
Yeah.
As some people do, as like Fran Fine and The Nanny does.
Right.
But I do know that exists, and I respect that, and I love that. But 2018's A Star is Born might be better.
You think so?
Than the 76.
Is it the music that's better? What is it you think?
I mean, Evergreen's a bop, but yeah, it's the music. I also think there's just something about Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga's chemistry that I really like. I like the direction Bradley Cooper went with this one, but the 1970s one is a blueprint for this one. Like, you couldn't have one without the other.
I heard Barbra Streisand talking about this movie and saying, like, it's kind of, she was surprised that it was kind of similar to it. I don't know. I think she low-key wanted Beyonce to be in A Star Is Born. Which
can we talk about that really quick?
News to me.
I mean, so originally, I have a little bit of the facts.
Yeah, lay
here.
the facts down, please.
I have the facts. Like, I'm like the Star Is Born.
Well, you
2018 defender. So yeah, in January 2011, it was announced that Clint Eastwood was in talks to direct. If he was starring, that'd be
I know. That's where my mind went too. I'm like, would he be like the Sam Elliott? Would he be the Jackson?
Would he be Jackson and Beyonce would be Allie?
It'd be, maybe oddly high. I don't know.
Okay, I'm kind of into this, but that's false.
Yeah, that's fan fiction.
Yeah. That's our 50 Shades of Grey, Clint Eastwood and Beyonce.
Yeah.
But no, he was in talks to direct with Beyonce as the lead. And Bradley Cooper was going to play the male lead.
Oh, he was going to play. Okay.
Yeah. And Blue Ivy being born and Beyonce being pregnant delayed those plans. And what we found out from Beyonce's Renaissance movie is Blue Ivy knows. Like, even before she was born, she was like, this isn't meant to be. Yeah.
I think it was Blue Ivy in there.
Yeah. She was like,
Mom, no, you can't be doing this.
You got to put Diva on the set list. You can't play the lead in A Star Is Born.
You got to focus on your music. I wonder, so thinking about Beyonce though, and her like musical career, I'm like, when did Lemonade come out?
2016.
So 2016?
A couple years, like a year and a half before A Star Is Born.
Well, never mind then.
What?
I don't know. I was like, maybe we wouldn't have like a certain Beyonce album.
I mean, I think so.
You know?
I mean, so 2013 Self-Titled comes out and Beyonce creates, the surprise drop.
Yeah.
And she does that album and then Lemonade.
She was really working hard.
100%. And I don't think she would have that. But, the Self-Titled album had all the music videos.
Yeah.
For like every single song. I don't think she would have had that time for
also,
one.
She was probably touring at a certain point, I would think.
Yeah, constantly touring. She's
a superstar. She's a star, a real star that has been born, as well. Like,
which the 1950s A Star Is Born stars Judy Garland and then Barbra Streisand. They're stars. Lady Gaga, a massive star. A Star Is Born always has their female lead as like a massive star.
That's so funny. Yeah.
But Beyonce's very different in the way that she's kind of eclipsed everything as far as in this time frame, because this is the time frame when we were calling her like Queen Bee.
Yeah.
Like, people had her such on a pedestal. I think it would have been a weird transition to get into
into acting.
Well, she's acted in Dreamgirls and Cadillac Records.
That's true.
And very like successful, but I don't know if Beyonce's acting, it's good, but it's just not. It's not Lady Gaga.
Yeah. No, I mean, I am glad we got Gaga.
Well, Beyonce's so perfect. I don't believe that she would ever struggle. I know she has, but it's harder for me to believe.
Oh, yeah, because the characters struggle. Like, they show a character struggling.
I don't know. Would you want to see a Beyonce directed by Clint Eastwood?
I'm curious. I don't know. I do think it's interesting, Clint Eastwood as well, being the director. Like, I mean, I definitely would watch because it's Beyonce.
Do you think the music would be good? Because the music in this one are really good.
It would have to be. I mean, I would wonder who would be writing the music.
Would it be...
And what kind of music?
At one point, they were doing like a Kurt Cobain... I wanted to do a Kurt Cobain style. Like Jackson Maine would have been like a Kurt Cobain type.
But what about Beyonce? What would she have been singing?
I don't know. I don't know what
like
they
R&B?
would have...
Would it be like...
I feel like it'd be really bland.
Yeah, they wouldn't give her anything to work with. I don't know. It's a lot of what ifs.
A lot of what ifs. Well, and then Bradley Cooper signs on to direct.
Yeah, I think it could work if there was someone that she had like a lot of chemistry with, maybe to work. Because I think that's why this version of A Star Is Born works so well. Is like you were saying, Gaga and Bradley Cooper have so much chemistry, so you'd really have to be rooting for this couple. So it's like, who would they pair Beyonce with?
Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Yeah?
Have you gone down that rabbit hole?
No.
Okay, that's
They
been
have
my
chemistry?
new. Yes. Just if ever you're bored, go on a little rabbit hole deep dive situation on Beyonce and Chris Martin.
Okay.
Or Jay-Z and Gwyneth if you really want to get
Oh.
nasty, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Bradley Cooper wanted Jack White to be the male lead at one point.
I did hear that. Yeah.
Which I can see flavors of that in Jackson, Maine.
Yeah.
Still wild. Still wrong choices. I think Bradley Cooper and Gaga, nothing's better,
I love
baby.
it. Yeah. It's cool to see him like direct and act in the same like movie too, which he did again with Maestro.
He did. Have you seen Maestro?
I saw the first half. Yeah.
What did you think? Because now, you know, with all the Oscar talk, Bradley Cooper, this was his directorial debut, but then he waited a little hot beat.
Yeah.
Because he's been spending the last 6 years inside the mind,
Yeah.
body, and soul of Leonard Bernstein.
That's a lot. That's a long time to be doing all that. Maybe that's why he wasn't with Gaga. He was too busy. He was like, look, I am Leonard Bernstein right now. Anyway, what was the question?
Oh, well, Bradley Cooper spent all this time
Being, oh, yeah.
so now he's on that press cycle, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Did you see him in that interview crying to Leonard
Yes.
Bernstein's children?
I did finally see that interview. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
It was overwhelming. And then I thought, okay, I have to see this movie because he's so invested. And I like Bradley Cooper. I'm like, what is the deal? Like,
I love Bradley Cooper. He seems very earnest.
yeah, like I definitely believe that he believes that he has a connection.
100%. Like, it's interesting when actors go full method. In the interview where he's crying over Leonard Bernstein, even though he's never met him, to his children,
Yeah.
it's just weird from the outside. Maybe not from the inside, because I kind of get being emotional and feeling a connection to someone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's like a level of vulnerability that we don't see a lot in actors now, especially just doing press. What was I going to say? Oh, my question. You seem to really like method actors. Like, you're really into Gaga and House of Gucci.
Well, no, I wasn't. I didn't like. No, wait a second.
Roll the tape. You were like, I love method acting.
No, I have mixed feel. Okay, I can understand it. Maybe wanting to live as a character for a while. I think it's maybe. It seems like a good idea at first. You know,
think so.
like if I don't know though, because I'm not like a professional actor, so I don't know. But I know there's different methods and stuff. But I think you need to be able to put your character down at a certain point. But I could see how it'd be easy to like slip into. You know, maybe I just like to pretend. Maybe I just have a wild imagination, you know?
I love the idea of having a spiritual connection. That's why I'm like, I could never really fault Bradley Cooper for his like method acting in Maestro.
Yeah.
Because it really does remind me of when Jim Carrey starred in Man on the Moon, and he was Andy Kaufman. And there was that whole Jim and Andy documentary where he was like, I feel like Andy Kaufman took over my body and I was acting as Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
And Bradley Cooper does give that similar
What
energy.
is that? Is that like disassociation?
I don't know.
Does a spirit come within you? Like, is there something spiritual happening?
Maybe. I mean, maybe. I mean, it definitely from the outside is a very bold move to do an interview with this real life man's children, but also be like, the power of him.
Be like,
inside
I remember
of me.
him.
Like,
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It is. Yeah. Honestly, I didn't realize he was method acting for that. Like, I thought he was just like training for 6 years, whatever that means.
Conducting,
Which seems really intense. Like the length of time. I think method acting could maybe work if it's like short lived, like a month or two. Like if you're like, you know what I mean? Oh, that's.
What
How
about
do people
Daniel
go for
Day-Lewis?
years?
Lewis.
Lewis.
But he Lewis.
He Lewis.
Because he would spend, like, he would do their craft.
Oh, that's why. Okay, yeah, because I saw someone like just like in YouTube comments, because I was watching a lot of clips on Bradley Cooper saying like he's our modern day Daniel Day-Lewis, and that makes sense now that I know that.
Yeah, he's our Daniel Day-Lewis.
He's our Daniel Day-Lewis.
He doeth the conducting.
He does, but what, like, is it so bad to learn? You know, does it make it more true, the performance? Like, I don't know. He has a lot of commitment. Like, he doesn't really have to do all that, but he does.
I mean, okay. What I love about this iteration of A Star is Born is that it really, the moral of the story is, in order to create great art, you have to dig deep.
Mm-hmm.
And at least Bradley Cooper walks the walk and talks the talk.
True. He digs deep.
He's dug very deep for Maestro.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will it pay off as far as winning an Academy Award? Probably not.
Maybe not.
But does that matter? Because it's not about the awards.
It's just about doing.
It's about doing. It's about digging deep and being vulnerable.
Yeah. And loving the craft.
Yeah. And not being shallow.
Yeah.
Shallow.
Definitely.
So you haven't seen another A Star is Born?
Mm-mm. No. But it's on my list. Like, I'd like to see the one with Babs, you know? Give it a go. I haven't really seen any movie with Barbra Streisand, I don't think.
What about Meet the Fockers?
Okay, yeah, you got me.
What about the 2012 comedy with Seth Rogen, Guilt Trip? It's good.
I don't know if I've seen that one, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But, you know, when I think about her older, doesn't she have some classic movies?
Funny Girl.
Funny Girl.
What's up, Doc?
Yentl.
Yeah, Yentl.
I don't all my
Prince
reference.
of Tides.
My reference of Barbra Streisand is like Fran Fine and the Nanny, like educating me.
Truly, I'm like between Fran Fine and Rachel Berry. I'm like, that's my gateway to Barbra Streisand.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really know a lot about Funny Girl before Rachel Berry sung "Don't Rain on My Parade."
Wow.
In that one episode of Glee. So,
Glee, just teaching.
Slap on the wrist. Uncultured swine.
It's okay.
I'm like, I prefer Lady Gaga.
I think
version's the best.
I think it's a bit of a generational thing, probably.
Yeah.
Like,
but I understand.
Yeah.
I totally
impact.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She paved the way.
Yeah. I mean, I would suspect, even though it's a fictional character, Fran Fine, growing up, being Jewish, being like Barbara.
Yeah. The representation matters.
That's my lady. She's not like stereotypically beautiful, or she's like, I call them spicy white.
Yeah.
You know? And then growing up, I watched Gaga and I was like, oh my God, she looks like me.
For sure.
And then it's like, oh, she loves theater. I love theater. She's incorporating these theatrics into her performances, and I want to do that too. And
yeah, Gaga inspired a whole generation, I feel.
And she's short. You could just wear platforms all the time. Maybe that was just me. But
she was influential. Barbra Streisand was influential. You know, they're both in their own right.
Mm-hmm. Judy Garland as well.
Yeah.
I really like the 1954 Star is Born.
I didn't realize you saw so many Stars Born.
Well, I had to.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the 30s one.
Yeah, I was going to say there's another one.
That one I haven't seen. But, oh, you know, last week when you were like, ring, ring, ring with the trolley, and I said, like a fool, Gypsy? And you said Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Yeah.
It's Meet Me in St. Louis.
Oh, okay. Well, I've seen that. I don't know. I was just, because we were talking about musicals, and I'm like, I know that I've seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and I've seen, is Carousel a musical?
Yeah.
I've seen all that, like a lot of old ones, but they blend together.
For sure. It's okay, because I said Gypsy. But it came to me like yesterday or the day before. I was just sitting down, and I was like, wait, Meet Me in St. Louis. I've seen Judy Garland sing that song.
Yeah. I love Judy Garland.
Yeah. She makes me really sad, but
yeah, it does make me sad too. It's hard to talk about.
Yes. But on the Lady Gaga tip,
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about Lady Gaga as Ally?
I love her as Ally. It's really cool to see her stripped down. And she just feels like a normal girl up there. Like, yes, you know, it's Gaga, but she plays this character so well. You know, it's like almost the opposite. I think she said that in an interview too, that she has to play like someone who isn't very confident and like someone who, like, she was very driven to pursue her dreams or whatever. But Ally is like kind of like shying away. She's like has all this talent built up, and it takes Jackson to kind of pull it out of her a bit. Like in the parking lot, that scene where he's like, show me what you're working with, basically. I don't know. It's cool to see like a flip side to her. And I believe it.
Can we talk about the cultural moment that was the stripping down of Lady Gaga?
Right, because she would be wearing like a lot of costumes, makeup.
She was known for like performance art style performances. And then the crazy hair. She's the reason why all the 2010 pop girlies had on a wig, like bubblegum pink lipstick. Yes, or Nicki Minaj. I mean, Lady Gaga was that girl.
Yeah.
And I hope we never forget that. She was the Madonna of our generation. Madonna's still Madonna, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And if you say you don't know what I mean, you're lying to yourself.
Go off.
Or you're Madonna. And only Madonna can be like, well, Lady Gaga's not me. But not for the public. The public, we know.
Yeah.
We know. But the whole thing was for the rise of Lady Gaga, she created this persona. And it was one of those things where you could see the influence so quick. And there was that inevitable moment where I remember people would always ask her if she'd ever strip down, and she was like, no. Are you ever going to do like go by Stephanie or anything? No. And there at that moment that art pop failed or flopped.
Yeah.
In quotes. She did the album with Tony Bennett. And then she came out with Joanne, which was like stripped down.
It was stripped down. Yes. We started to see her
tendencies. And then we saw the trailer for A Star Is Born. And it was a cultural reset because it finally happened. 10 years later, Gaga stripped down. But she's not going by Stephanie.
No.
She's credited as Lady Gaga.
I love that. I don't know. That's so cool.
I do too. And I love how just from an early age, Gaga knew who she is. And this was like a choice. This was a character choice. This was her acting debut. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry, you don't get a word in edgewise. I'm like, I love Stephanie Germanata. I want Angelina, Joanne, Germanata.
Is Joanne part of her name too?
I think so.
Oh.
Joanne is like Bradley Cooper and Maestro. It's in her. Even though she's never met her aunt. It's
I'm like,
that
what?
Pink cowboy hat is in her.
Yeah. That makes total sense. Yeah. I think there is something about like clicking with someone like that, even if they're not around, you know? Like maybe it's through their music or something, right?
I think so.
Music transcends generations.
I think so. It's like why you can have a connection with, I don't know, some figure you've never met.
Yeah.
I mean, you might not like wear a prosthetic nose and walk around like them, but you know,
and like aged makeup. Which, like, quick note, the Maestro, the makeup they did was really good when they made him look old.
Okay, I think that's going to win for hair and makeup for the Oscars.
It should. Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, what did you think about Joanne? Or just what are your thoughts on Lady Gaga in general?
I love Lady Gaga. I mean, I've been a fan almost as long as you. It took me a minute to come around.
Really?
Yeah, because I think I just saw her, because she would be in the press a lot, just in these crazy outfits, and it was just like shocking or whatever. She was shaking things up. And I was like, oh, yeah, she's kind of weird, whatever. But I didn't really listen to her music. And then I started, and I'm like, wait, she's awesome. Why have I been judgy? Like, yeah, wear that meat dress, sis. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. And then I'm like, you know what? I guess I'm a little weird. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she maybe represents, like, creative freedom maybe, and like people who feel like maybe they don't fit in or something. Like she's very, I don't know, she's unique. I love Lady Gaga.
I do too. I think she's one of the only people that I would be truly like starstruck if I ever met. Like tears.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I could meet her.
I'd probably pass
Like
out.
you don't meet your heroes.
I wouldn't be able to talk, I don't think. I'd just be like, yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably just be like a blubbering idiot.
Yeah.
But I could probably meet a lot of other people. Like even though I'm a big Taylor Swift fan, I don't think I would be that.
Be like, oh, hey.
Like, hey, Taylor Swift.
Hey, how's it going?
You know, you're really tall. I love your music.
Yeah.
You know? But Gaga's different.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I put her up on a pedestal, but it's hard not to. She has so much talent. Like she's dripping in talent.
She is. And I think her ace in the hole was she would put on these extravagant, like I always think about the 2009 VMAs where she sings Paparazzi and basically kills herself on stage. Like with all the fake blood. It's iconic. I think we say iconic in our vernacular so much because of Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
But
it's true.
But her real ace in the hole was that she would do a performance arty type performance, and in the same performance she'd sing like one song, like one of her hits, like a Bad Romance, and then she'd go onto her piano and sing like a ballad, like Elton John style on the piano.
I do love her when she's like playing the piano. It gets me because she goes off. She's like,
she's great.
Yeah, even like for A Star Is Born, like when they perform at the Oscars, and she does that thing where it's like, you know, like when they do like the scales or something real fast. It sounds so cool.
Yes,
she's that little pizzazz. Do you remember when she was performing after the movie was released or something, and Bradley Cooper was in the audience and she got him up on stage like at one of her shows?
Yes. Yes. Was this her like blue hair era? Yeah.
It was, yeah. I just remember being like blown away. And I remember shipping those two so hard.
Oh my God. The press cycle for A Star Is Born. I don't think we've seen in the last 5 years since this movie's been released, or even 5 years before. This was like old school, this like injected into my veins. Like I lived for the press cycle with those two.
Same.
And I think something must have happened between those two.
Yes.
Their chemistry, the way they look
at each other. They don't break eye contact. And the way he looks at her over the piano. Like, it's just like, you can't tell me that's all acting.
There has to be something. Oh my God. The way that they just like rest their head on each other.
Yeah.
Something about them. And I especially at the time, I was sipping the Kool-Aid.
Same.
Oh, so good.
Any of the statements they made that they were not dating or whatever, I'm like, I don't believe it.
No. It broke my heart. I don't know if you remember the day of the Oscars in 2019 when A Star Is Born was nominated and Lady Gaga was as well. And it was like, who's Bradley Cooper going to bring to the Oscars? And the moment I saw the red carpet and he brought Irina Shayk onto the carpet with him.
Yeah.
In her bob, which I love her. She's gorge. But my heart sang.
You're like, no.
It just broke my little heart.
Yeah.
I really shipped those two.
Me too. Or like that interview with Gaga on Jimmy Kimmel, and she's like, yeah, that's acting people. She's like, yeah, it was romance. You know, this was all Bradley Cooper's plan, basically. Like, he set this up, like.
Which is genius.
For the movie. It makes so much sense. But still, I'm like, no, it's all lies.
I mean, now the time has passed. I'm like, yeah, it probably was really smart. And it plays into the whole romance.
It does. But it gets me emotional, like, watching them, like, sing together. I don't know why. I guess because of the movie and we know the story of the characters. And then it almost, like, when you see it in real life, it almost means more because it's, like, they're singing live and they're stripped down as people. I don't know.
There is that level of acting. It's like you're watching A Star Is Born wherever they are.
Yeah.
Which is genius. Go Bradley Cooper. Maybe I'm like a Bradley Cooper stan now as well as a Gaga stan.
I think he might deserve a place in the male Beyonce category.
Yeah. What's your argument for Bradley Cooper as male Beyonce?
Okay, well, at least for this movie, so we know that he spent 6 years getting ready for Maestro.
Mm-hmm.
For Star is Born, he spent 3 years getting into character, and he did at least a year and a half taking vocal lessons to prepare, 6 months guitar and piano lessons. He also did like something where he wanted to change his voice and make it sound deeper. So he had like a coach that he worked with to deepen his voice.
Austin Butler, who?
But yeah, but I guess, you know, because his character's an alcoholic, you know, he wanted to tell a dark personal narrative. So that meant like his speaking voice should sound a little deeper. Apparently he modeled it off Sam Elliott, which I don't know if I see that, because I don't think anyone can talk like Sam Elliott's voice is so distinct and so deep that either you're Sam Elliott or you're not. You know what I mean? Like that's hard to emulate, but he was going for it at least. So he wanted to lower his speaking voice an octave. They worked 5 days a week, 4 hours a day, just on lowering his voice for about a year before they even shot the movie. So he did a lot to prepare, because the movie was 42 days to shoot.
And they shot real performances. Like one of the first days of shooting, they went to Coachella and performed.
Yeah, which I think that might have been Gaga's idea to do. Like, she said something about not liking lip syncing to pre-recorded tracks. So, like, let's do this live.
A good move.
Yeah.
Gaga doesn't miss.
Mm-mm.
I think you're right about the Bradley Cooper male Beyonce.
Yeah. Let's add him to the category when we do our Oscars.
No, I think Bradley is very interesting. Like, his career is a great example of someone like Allie in A Star is Born, in the sense that it was a slow burn. Mm. You know, he started off, you know, he studied acting, and he did all those, like, inside the actor's studios. He was just like a student in the audience and got called on by James Lipton, you know? And then he went on Alias, and he started doing those comedies. I remember him in Failure to Launch.
Oh, he was in Failure to Launch.
Wedding Crashers. And then he popped off with The Hangover in 2009. That was his A Star is Born moment, essentially. And
now he's directing. I'm curious to see what he's going to do as a director, you know? And I think it's interesting that, yeah, he does so much to get into these characters.
I mean, he really walks the walk. And it's also, this is what he loves to do. You can see it. He loves acting. He loves film. Bradley Cooper is Jackson Maine. Feeds my soul. His excessive tanner just really gets me going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
He slurs his words and pees his pants on stage.
Oh my gosh. Icon. No, I love Bradley Cooper in this, and I love his directing choices. I love that he was the one person in a room of 100 people that chose Gaga.
Right. Also, is it Matthew
Labatique?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like he's worked with him a lot.
Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
He did Maestro as well.
Yeah, I just think that's kind of cool, like that direction. Like, there's something about the style in A Star is Born, the way it's shot, how it's a little film grainy, like when they're up on the stage, like there's a little maybe shaky cam or something. The way the camera kind of follows Allie up on stage when she gets up there for the first time, you know, like it just...
I love the cinematography in A Star is Born.
Yeah.
I love, like you were saying, the first time Allie performed Shallow on stage, the lights, and it's all from, you know, typically in movies with concert scenes, you're watching as the audience. In this, you're on stage.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the way that when Allie and Jackson first start singing together, and it's like the lights are so blown out.
You can't even see the audience.
You can only see them. And just...
Also, that scene, can we talk about like the beginning, like how that's shot, like when we meet Allie at the club?
Oh my God. Okay, yes. So we were putting the cart before the horse. So yeah, so the film starts off.
We see Allie at her job.
At her job, and she goes to the bathroom and like screams.
She like has to throw out the trash or something, maybe.
Yeah. Yes, just like a simple gal it's kind of just setting the scene that Jackson is this rock star, kind of like a alt country guy, which it's a good take, I think, like a modern day take on A Star Is Born, but it is funny that in like 2018, like an alt country guy in this universe would be like a really big star.
I know. Yeah, it is weird. It must have been a certain, because I don't remember thinking about it too hard at the time, but looking back now at a 2024 lens, it is kind of like, really?
I like this choice, but I think we're giving late 2010s music a little too much credit. I'm like, during the time when everything had a remix.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he's a rock star and Allie's just working.
She's working. Yeah.
Working 9 to 5.
What a way to make a living.
Yes. But Jackson stumbles upon Allie in this drag bar.
Mm-hmm.
And she puts on this amazing, amazing performance of La Vie en Rose.
Yes. She captivates everyone, you know? And especially Jackson. I love when they do like a close-up on her face, though,
yes.
and the lighting is like red. Like when she turns over to look at him. That's the way that's shot just really gets me.
The way Matthew Labatique shoots this film, it's very intimate, but especially that scene, it's like when you're laying beside someone and you look at them, it's from that perspective.
That's kind of a meet cute, right?
I think so. I think it's an excellent meet cute.
Yeah. I love that they're like also, there's like the one drag queen that's like, can you sign like my boob?
Oh, Willem.
Is it Willem? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, sure. And they're like, can you like sing for us? And he goes up. It was just kind of cute. He's like,
oh my God. I love the drag queen cameos.
Yeah.
I love a good Shangela and Willem.
I forgot that Shangela was in this movie. It's so cool to see her. Yeah.
I feel like I know Drag Race is huge, but seeing them on screen, or every time I see anyone I know from RuPaul's Drag Race on screen, it's almost like a little inside joke where I'm like, oh my God, that's like Shangela.
Yeah.
Or like Willem, oh my God. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like a little inside joke I have with myself, even though the world knows who they are.
At the time, well, like maybe was I late to Drag Race a little bit?
Maybe a little bit. I feel like I just knew Shangela at that time, but
same. But now looking back, I'm like, oh, I can recognize so many more.
Oh yeah.
And be like, oh snap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love, the ones they chose too. So after they meet, after Gaga sings La Vie en Rose, Allie and Jackson go to this bar, this cop bar. That's more Jackson's speed. And Allie ends up punching this dude.
Oh my God, I love that. She's like, I said leave him alone.
And we do get the first iconic, because Jackson's like, why don't you sing your own stuff? And she talks about how she tried, but they didn't say, they said she wasn't beautiful enough. She was talented, but she didn't have the right look because of her nose.
Yeah.
And he's just like fascinated with her. Like at first he's like, can I touch your eyebrow? Can I touch the bridge of your nose?
He's a little drunk too.
I'm into it.
He's like the most lovable drunk guy, I guess.
Definitely.
Oh.
He is like a puppy dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it's cute until he gets sloppy later. But
yeah.
I know we'll get into that. But
we do fall in love with Jackson like Allie does. And then at the very end, it becomes tiresome. Like Allie's probably feeling. It's like, oh my God, Jackson, you got to get together.
Together. Yeah, definitely.
But we get the scene in the film, the scene at the grocery store after Allie punches the dude in the face. They give her peas. Yeah. And Allie shows Jackson the song she's working on and busts out Shallow.
I love that scene. Because there's like no music or anything. It's just her,
Which, have you seen that clip of like a reading, like a script reading of A Star Is Born, and Lady Gaga just busts out singing Shallow? Like during that part in the script, just in front of a bunch of people.
She didn't have to sing that?
Like at a table read. But yeah, she just starts singing, kind of like in the movie. And like Bradley Cooper is like looking at her like in awe. It's the best.
He's the one person that believes.
He is.
There can be 100 people in the room and 99 don't believe in you, and you just need one to believe in you, and that was him. So
I love it.
Do you remember the first time you heard Shallow?
I don't know, because I'm like, was it in the movie or was it in the trailer? I don't remember like first time. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailer. I don't remember what movie it was for, but I remember being in the movie theater. And I didn't really have any, like, it was during that time, it was very Marvel heavy.
Yeah.
A lot of films. So I didn't really have a lot of expectations. I definitely heard about A Star is Born being filmed and coming out.
Yeah.
But I didn't seek it out. And I saw it, the trailer in one of the movies, and like chills. Like I started to cry. I was like, this is it. Like Shallow's gonna be like an instant classic.
I remember listening to like the soundtrack all the time after seeing this movie.
No, I think the songs in A Star is Born really make the film.
Yeah.
Like the acting's phenomenal, but the soundtrack does take it a step farther. Like Shallow doesn't have to be as good as it is, but I'm very thankful that it is. If that makes any sense.
It might be the best song on the album.
I think so. I mean, it's a showstopper. That high note that Gaga sings.
I love a good duet too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I love also like in the movie how Jackson adds on to her song, because she like starts it. She's like, this is what I'm working with. It's not fully fledged, but this is what I've started writing. And then he like does like a response kind of verse to it.
Oh, I love a call and response.
You know?
No, the soundtrack's really good. Even in the parts where, like, I really love the journey between Allie and Jackson after they perform Shallow for the first time on stage. And Allie and Jackson start performing together kind of as a duo of sorts.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of a little bit of like a James Taylor, Carly Simon. Like they're giving 70s.
They are.
Singer-songwriter. And I
even
love
their
those
outfits
songs
a little bit to have like some 70s vibes. There's got to be nods on purpose, I'm thinking.
Oh yeah. It's very 1970s via 2017.
Yeah.
But I love those songs as well, like during that portion. Even the trash songs,
like
Lady Gaga sings.
like why did you do that? Or
yeah. Hair, body, face. Heal Me is good.
Heal Me is good. It's spiritual.
Yes, body rolling.
It is cool to hear like Gaga's voice in like a different kind of genre of music that we might not otherwise.
Definitely. Do you remember that like random single Lady Gaga put out in the summer of 2017 called The Cure?
Yeah, I like that song.
I do too.
I like it a lot.
It's very similar to Heal Me, which I wonder if like Gaga was just testing the waters.
It does sound, now that you're saying that, it does sound pretty similar. Yeah.
I also know that I'm thinking about it. I believe she played The Cure when she headlined Coachella in 2017. Is that also the same performance that she was Allie, like that they filmed for the movie?
Maybe.
I don't know. Don't quote me. That's not a fact, but I'm just thinking now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it would
wait.
make sense, like putting all the pieces together. I know. I've been trying to do that too. I'm like, because I know she was also performing around this time. So
Yeah. And The Cure is very similar to one of her, like, quote unquote, bad pop songs.
yeah,
Which are still pretty good.
I like The Cure though. I think it's good.
I like it. I don't think Gaga can mess up a pop song.
Yeah. Was it art pop? That was.
It flopped, but I
Art pop flopped.
like art pop. I was obsessed with art pop at the time too.
There's a lot of
It's
bangers
good.
on art pop.
Art pop's great. I think Chromatica's great. I don't know. I don't think Gaga's ever flopped.
Yeah.
In the sense that she's always created good music. I think maybe sometimes it doesn't perform as well on the charts, but whatever.
Yeah, but does that really?
I don't know. That's very shallow.
That's very shallow.
Shallow.
It is.
But so for the soundtrack, they enlisted Lucas Nelson, who's the son of Willie Nelson.
That kind of makes sense.
Yep. And Shallow is one of the best movie songs of our time, in my opinion. but also won an Academy Award, won a Golden Globe, and is one of the best-selling singles of all time.
I'm not surprised.
What do you think it is about Shallow that just resonates?
I want to say part of it is like the Gaga's bridge, just like riffing. Oh, that is for me anyway.
Yeah.
Because it has like raw emotion in there, I think. And probably because the way it relates to the story, because I think this movie performed really well as well. So I think just it's hard to not associate the song with the movie. And like I just think about the characters and their journey, and that's part, I think, of like the playability of it. Yeah. But I mean, it is a good song in and of itself, but I think that might play a role for the people. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that it is a great song, but it's also something that you can connect to, like you said.
Yeah.
Like you connect with the characters on a deep level.
Yeah. It's like more than a song to me. I'm like, yeah.
Which it really proves Gaga's star power, that in the height of all the Marvel movies, and even now we're going through, like, things aren't really made unless it's IP. You know, even to some extent, like a Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, A Star is Born. I know, like, there's been 3 remakes before this, but it's not a movie. It's more of an adult movie. So for it to be such a success, it's really like anything that's really great can penetrate the culture, which is cool.
Yeah, definitely.
What else do you want to?
My favorite Alley Trash song has got to be Why Did You Do That? I love that song.
I do too.
And I would be flattered if someone wrote a song like that for me. You should have been flattered.
Well, when Allie gets more success, after her like Fleetwood Mac era with Jackson, she becomes a pop star.
She starts surpassing him in popularity.
Yeah.
And she's probably in a different part of her career too, because her career is just taking off. His career is kind of like going the other direction, because he gets hired to do like, like he's doing like a concert for, what is that guy?
Oh, like the Roy Orbison tribute
Roy
at
Orbison.
the Grammys?
Yeah, he has to do the tribute, and they don't want him to sing, you know. But maybe that's also his alcoholism too, like maybe a mix.
A combination for sure. I think that this movie does a good job of seeing that, like, he's self-destructive, but he's also, his career, it's just not what, I think even the manager, Gaga's manager, or Allie's manager says, you know, like, it's like a time bomb. Like, that's not what people want nowadays. Yeah. So yeah, his career's on the decline and Allie's is on the upswing, and she gets carrot red hair. And yeah, starts doing body rolls on stage.
Starts hosting SNL, or maybe not hosting, but being the musical guest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which SNL performances that have intense choreography are like always the weirdest performances, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that tiny stage is not conducive to choreography.
I agree. Just stand up there and play the instrument. That's enough.
Yeah.
Just twirl around like Lana Del Rey.
Definitely. Or, you know, do a jig like Ashley Simpson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, after you get caught lip syncing.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, it does come to a head when Allie's nominated for Best New Artist at the Grammys.
Which is so wild to see Gaga play a character getting nominated for a Grammy when we know that she's also been nominated for like several Grammys. And like, it's such a wild thing. I don't know.
What's even more bizarre is seeing her character Allie win Best New Artist and be handed the award to by Halsey.
Yeah, that is funny.
It's like a weird, I feel like in a couple years we'll be like, wow, that's a time capsule piece. Whoa, you know?
Yeah.
But it's also funny because Gaga's like,
she is a star. Yeah, like she's a big star. It is. I thought that was funny too.
Who would be handing someone like a Halsey Best New Artist?
Right.
It's like a parallel universe. Like, what if Lady Gaga wasn't confident?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm getting.
Truly.
Yeah.
What if Bradley Cooper had a lot of tanner and bronzer on and was an alcoholic?
Yeah, just what if, guys? Is that how they pitched this movie?
Yes.
What if Sam Elliott was his brother?
And played Sam Elliott, and it was great.
I love, like, just low-key Sam Elliott, like, the moment when he has the emotional moment with Bradley Cooper, because they're brothers, and they have, like, this kind of, well, I don't know if it's exactly a rivalry, because they're not really at odds, but we do find out that Sam, like, his name's not Sam, it's, I feel like we don't really see him a whole lot.
Not a lot. He's kind of the pseudo... So Jackson Maine grows up without a dad and without a mom, essentially, and it's just him and his brother.
Yeah. Oh, it's Bobby Maine.
Bobby.
But he was pursuing music at some point, we learn. Like, he kind of started it, and then...
He's like parent, manager, musician.
Yeah. He does it all.
Yeah, I guess the storyline of Jackson's storyline is that he stole basically like Sam Elliott's character's voice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And like
his dreams.
Yeah. Can we talk about that scene though, where they have the heartfelt conversation and at Jackson's house, and you can see Sam Elliott's driving away, and he's like reversing with like a tear in his eye.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know, because Jackson says to him, he's like, basically like, it wasn't the dad that he looked up to. He was like, it was you that I idolized. Yeah. He's like, it was you. And then he just like back. I don't know. It gets me. There's a lot of moments in this movie that get me a little teary-eyed if I think about him too much, you know?
100%. I feel like if you've seen this movie once, like, or at least after I saw the movie once and I know what happens at the end, I would start to cry just like anticipating the ending.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how early it started. I feel like the time when he's like, I just wanted to take another look at you, round 2.
That gets you.
That gets me. Because I know what's going to happen. I know the inevitable.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
when Allie's manager talks to him and he's like, I forget, he's really cruel, but he says something like, you should just stay out of the way, or like, what's the point? He almost says like, you should kill yourself, basically.
Pretty
you
much.
know? And I'm like, damn. It's like too far, dude.
Oh, yeah. He's like the true villain of this movie.
I think so, because you can definitely be like, look, you should probably stay out of the picture in like a way that's not so, you know,
uncalled for.
Yeah, I feel like he like twists the knife a little.
Cruel and unusual.
Yeah.
But before we talk about the ending, can we mention that Jackson Maine's best friend in this film is Dave Chappelle?
Yeah. I love that cameo. I love Dave Chappelle. Like, that's so fun. Wait, isn't his kids are also
his wife?
And
his wife in it is Robert De Niro's
daughter.
His wife.
Oh, and it's her kids too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's
one of his
and one of hers. That's not. He's not married to Robert De Niro's.
No. But in this universe, he is. That's a wild casting choice that I'm in love with.
Yeah.
Also, Andrew Dice Clay playing Allie's dad, who's obsessed with Frank Sinatra. It's a good touch.
I do enjoy her dad being like, oh yeah, I can sing just like old Blue Eyes, like several times. He's like, you want me to sing? But I don't think we ever get to hear him sing, but
no.
It is funny.
I'm into it. So we talked a little bit about Jackson's decline, and a little bit about the Grammys moment, but what do you think about when Allie wins Best New Artist and Jackson comes on stage and pees his pants?
Oh, gosh, it's so hard to watch. It is definitely cringy because it's like you root for him, you root for the both of them, and it's just so embarrassing, you know, and I don't know. It's upsetting, you know, and it's almost funny, just, you know, because of I think it's maybe like the physical comedy of it, like, you know, but then you're also like, oh, like you're kind of like the audience in that movie, like how they have people going, yes. Oh, you know, because you're like, whoa.
I love the choice that he pees his pants on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that too, but he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Allie's just up there like, haha, that's my man. She's like,
fully embarrassed.
It's like, what do you do? Like, everyone's yeah.
I do think the way it's shot it's shot though is really interesting. Like the aftermath of her in the shower with him and like all the commotion with like the dad and everyone around.
Yeah.
It's good to progress the plot.
It is. He finally goes to rehab after that. It seems like things are looking up. This movie is so cruel and unusual.
Truly. Oh my God. The fight between Allie and Jackson.
When he calls her ugly?
Yes. And she stands up fully naked in the bathtub and says, "Get out."
Yeah. Honestly, he shouldn't have done that. I get it. Because I don't think she speaks to him for a while. She just goes to rehearsals. And then he knows he's fucked up.
Definitely. Yeah, this film's very
dramatic. Yeah. We talked about La La Land like last week, and now we're talking about like I feel like A Star Is Born it's similar in some ways, but it like tackles some real issues, because even at the end it's like after the credits roll, it's like, hey, if you like or anyone has problems with alcohol abuse, like call this number. Like it's like a PSA.
Pretty much. It goes down that turn. I mean, it's interesting to think about just the way that this film handles even something like suicide. Yeah. It's very interesting. Like the signs, like when Jackson is like, "Oh, you can have all my stuff," basically. Like that's a sign. And just like little things throughout the film that are very like, "Oh, this is very freaking serious." Or in the other Star Is Born, the 1970s one, and I believe the 1950s one, don't quote me on that though, the man, like the Chris Christopherson or the Bradley Cooper, goes out into the water to drown himself. And we see it like at a distance. But this scene where Bradley Cooper's in the garage, you see his face and you see him contemplating it. It's very real.
It feels very real. Yeah. And they don't like show it, but they like you see his like feet dangling or whatever. And I don't know. That scene gets me. I can't. And with the dog is just left there, just all sad.
He makes the dog a steak.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know, when he makes the dog a steak, that gets me. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I think that's one of the moments too where I cry.
Yeah.
Like I start to cry.
Yeah, you're like, what's coming.
Oh, it's dark.
It really is. When Allie sings "I'll Never Love Again," that also gets me.
Am I crazy to think "I'll Never Love Again" is it sounds like a Whitney Houston song? It kind of sounds like her
"I'll Always Love You," kind of, yeah.
Like that like show-stopping moment.
It's like a power ballad, like, yeah, makes you feel something.
I love how it's different too than her like singer-songwriter stuff in the beginning of the movie. It's different than her pop stuff. It's like once Jackson dies, the blue light's shining on her during the performance, like he's looking down on her and she's looking up with the tears in her eyes. It's just beautiful.
Plus he wrote that song for her. And then when they do the flashback and they show him at the piano, like singing it, and they're kind of like together. I don't know. That just like, it's a knife in the heart.
Really good.
Just a twist.
And like in that moment, a star is actually born. That was Bradley Cooper's intention. It's like, after all this is her moment.
Yeah.
Like the movie ends, but it's really like the beginning of her.
That's true.
Her career being authentic and being like digging
and
deeper.
She's still pretty young, so she still has a life to live. I do wonder like what happens after all this.
Hopefully she makes music that's true to her.
Yeah, I hope so.
And she doesn't have to have orange hair or body rolling choreography.
Right, yeah, that some of that choreography as well, like they give her background dancers too.
No shade, or maybe shade. It does remind me of, Taylor Swift's choreography during the Reputation set on the Eras tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. But that's, now Lady Gaga's choreography.
Oh.
Way different.
She gives.
Yeah.
What else do you want to talk about? I know I definitely want to talk about the Oscars that year. But is there anything you want to touch on?
I was going to mention, like, some of Gaga's looks, like, during the press tour.
Well, it starts with Venice. I remember that so vividly. Venice is the one where she's in the white.
Is it? I thought...
Or is that the feather dress? What is the one where she comes on the boat?
You might be right. I think she does the white and the feather dress in Venice. She arrives at the Venice Film Festival on August 30th, 2018, in the black number with a Victory Roll hairstyle. And then the next day, she steps out in the white Marilyn Monroe dress.
And then she comes on the red carpet
in like the pink feathery, which is so wild. I love that dress.
It's like the most gorgeous, like blush colored feathered Valentino gown.
Like old Hollywood. I think that's what she's going for this whole time.
I get all the references. Gaga doesn't miss for a press cycle. She's very on theme.
Yeah.
So I love the mix of old Hollywood, a little bit of Judy, a little bit of Marilyn.
I love how like when she's on the boat too, she has like a big rose.
Yes.
That's really cute.
I love her Golden Globes and Oscars looks.
Mm-hmm.
So for the Oscars, she has on a gorgeous black gown, but she's wearing this ginormous Tiffany necklace. It's like a yellow diamond, yeah. And it's a $30 million Tiffany necklace.
Whew. It's the same one worn by Audrey Hepburn.
Mm-hmm. Her looks for like the Golden Globes and the Oscars are very much Audrey Hepburn meets Cinderella.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Golden Globes, her doing her platinum blonde hair with like a little tinge of lavender with the big ball gown.
I see what you mean. It's like very Cinderella with the billowy, they're like poofs.
But I remember the Grammys that year because Shallow was also nominated for a bunch of Grammys, not just Oscars.
Right.
And she does this like rock version of Shallow.
Dude, yes.
But I also love her gown on the red carpet. She still has the platinum hair, but it's like a silver gown with like a piece on the side.
I love Gaga in silver. I don't know what it is.
She can rock a silver.
Yeah, I think silver might be her color.
And a platinum blonde hair. Love Gaga in platinum.
Yeah. The UK premiere also.
Yes.
It's kind of like Elizabethan, maybe. A little nod.
The Queen.
Yeah.
Inspired.
And it's Alexander McQueen, so.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. I feel like my favorite look has got to be like the pink feathery dress.
Yes. I don't know. She's just leaning into the ingenue. And as a film debut, this is so perfect. Just being in love with your co-star / coming to Venice on a boat looking like a goddess.
I wanted more excuses for Gaga to be on the red carpet.
Yeah, all the red carpet moments. Yeah.
You know? Can we get more moments like this?
We need A Star is Born vehicle for Lady Gaga. House of Gucci didn't cut the cheese.
It did not. Ugh. It makes me so mad. I really wanted House of Gucci to like.
I think the hopes were really high because right out of the gate, Lady Gaga captured all of our hearts.
And she blew it out of the water with this movie, with A Star is Born. Like,
everything's perfection, including her acting. I really like Olivia Colman, but I was crestfallen on Oscars night. I knew it was a long shot.
Yeah.
But I just wanted Lady Gaga to win Best Actress so freaking bad. Yeah, A Star is Born did win Best Original Song for Shallow, which did give Gaga an Oscar.
Yeah.
So she's closer to an EGOT, but...
True. But just not for acting.
Yeah.
In my mind, she won.
Truly.
That's how I like to remember it. I'm like, I'll always remember.
I know, that's me.
This way.
Singing. But yeah. No, I even loved, you were talking about the Shallow performance at the Oscars.
Yeah.
And do you know if that was like Bradley Cooper's idea?
Yeah.
To be far away and then to come together at the piano at the end.
And not announce that they're about, like, just start playing the song and for them to come up the stairs together. Like, it was, yeah.
Oh my God. Speaking of Oscars night, I totally thought they were going to kiss at the end or something.
I did too. I remember being on the edge of my seat, just like waiting and being like feeling the tension, and then they didn't. And I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
But like you were like, especially when this movie was like fresh, like it.
Such a moment. I was waiting with bated breath for everything about that. I mean, like we were talking about before, I was like, who's Bradley Cooper gonna show up with? Who's Lady Gaga gonna show up with?
I definitely like went a rabbit hole at the time of like any new interview with Gaga that came out. Like I was trying to keep up, but I'm like, when are they gonna admit that they're dating?
Yeah.
When are they gonna make a official statement? You know how people do. They're like,
Definitely.
yeah,
or see something like after Gaga's Oscar win, like finally, like someone would catch a glimpse of them.
Yeah, something, right? The after party, maybe something.
Definitely. But yeah, no, that didn't happen. But
still disappointed.
Genius.
To this day.
But in retrospect, I think that was so genius, like marketing wise.
Yeah. Bradley Cooper.
Marketing genius.
Yeah.
Also, like, wouldn't care about Maestro if he didn't cry to Leonard Bernstein's children.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe that was part of the
Yeah, I do think that it is a fun game to play, which is very genius of both Gaga and Cooper. That you're playing with the tropes in A Star Is Born.
And you're playing with people's emotions.
Yeah. Yeah. This movie plays with people's emotions in the best way.
Yeah.
The press cycle. You know, it all feeds into this Hollywood machine, or like these ideas that we want, like since the beginning of Hollywood, essentially, where we're like, oh, we want people to present themselves a certain way to end up together. We want these storylines from screen to take flight off stage, and
Yeah. And you hear a lot about like actors, they sometimes date their co-stars. So it's like, it's not like that far-fetched.
It plays into it. It's genius.
Was he getting out of a marriage at the time or something?
I don't think that they were married, but yeah, he just had his daughter with Irina Shayk.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. They just had a baby.
Yeah.
And Gaga, I think, was maybe with something.
She was with something.
Excuse me.
Bradley Cooper.
It wasn't Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Gaga definitely dates normies.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's cool.
Something.
The word on the street is at the Oscars this year is when Bradley Cooper is going to hard launch his relationship with Gigi Hadid.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's going to hit. That's not going to hit
it's
like
not as
Lady
exciting
Gaga.
I'm like, okay, that's nice, I guess. But
yeah, I saw that as a news story and I was like, well, wait a second. We've seen them out together all the time. Like, why do they need to hard launch?
Yeah, I don't think they need to.
But that'll be fun. I mean, maybe we'll get to see Gigi Hadid wearing something fabulous.
Yeah. That could be cool. Yeah.
Or Bradley Cooper could bust out the Maestro nose.
He just shows up like in full like makeup. But yeah.
He can get it popping.
Why not?
Gigi Hadid also shows up in Leonard Bernstein makeup.
Yeah. They're just twinsies. They both are like, woo!
Yes.
Conducting.
I
like it.
Putting that 6 years of learning how to conduct to good use.
I know. How does it take 6 years to learn how to conduct? Like, I don't understand conducting. I'm not gonna lie. I know there's something to it. Like, I know it's like certain motions mean certain things.
Yeah.
How long does it take to become a maestro?
I don't know. Honestly, I didn't see Tar, which is my blueprint for conductor movies. So,
yeah. I don't know.
The whole time watching Maestro is like, oh, I could be watching Tar instead. The apples and oranges, but just conductor films. I'd rather see Cate Blanchett.
You'd rather see her? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
But anything before we sign off?
Oh, I mean, I love A Star Is Born. It's very rewatchable, even though it's kind of a tragic tale. Like, I like to put myself through the pain.
Definitely, it's worth the pain.
It feels good. Heartbreak feels good at a place like this.
Yes. I wish I could have seen that commercial
at that time.
Yeah,
that would have really hit.
I think,
or no, you'd be like, this does not feel good. Well, it must have, because he kept coming back.
I think this is what cinema is all about.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga hit it out of the park.
Rips your heart out and stomps on it
in the best way. The soundtrack is actually very good on its own.
Yeah.
The performances are great. I bought into their chemistry and their love story. This movie is hella rewatchable.
Do you own the soundtrack?
I don't. well, I mean, I play it on Spotify
Yeah.
a lot. It
feels
was
like it.
2018 to 2019, like most played.
Was it on your Wrapped? Do they have Wrapped?
If there was a Wrapped, it would be on there for sure.
Yeah.
Probably an embarrassing amount. No, I love A Star Is Born. This is why I love movies. This is why I love music. This is why I love just going to the movies. It's you want to feel something, and they created something that is really like beautiful. So I love the tale as old as time too. Like A Star Is Born, it's not like he was reinventing the wheel, but there's a reason why it keeps getting remade.
Yeah, it works. We all like to see someone. It's like, I think Allie's character is like relatable because she's just kind of like an ordinary girl at first, like, you know, like she on the side, like, yeah, she writes and stuff, but she's just like afraid to put herself out there. But we can kind of put ourselves in her shoes a bit,
Definitely,
you know, and kind of live vicariously through her.
Yeah,
in this film. And
Lady Gaga, for me, for a modern day adaptation of this A Star Is Born, is the only choice.
Yeah,
like she's not only a movie star, but she's a pop star. She's just a star. This is made for her. Yeah. She's a Judy. She's a Barbara. She's like, that's Lady Gaga.
Yeah. I wish we would get some more roles. Like, I don't want to say I wish the House of Gucci never happened, because we got, you know, some cool stills of her and Adam Driver and those sweaters and stuff. But I don't know. I wonder what that movie would have been like. What if Bradley Cooper had directed? Would it be a totally, you know what I mean? I
would love to see Bradley Cooper and Gaga just 10 years from now.
I'm still mad that they're not together, but
in my mind, they are together.
Yeah. Just always remember them.
We'll always remember them this way.
I probably said this earlier, but there can be 100 people or 1,000 people in the room, and 9,000 or 999 don't believe in you, and one does, and I would not be here without you.
Late to the Party is hosted by Nikki Jensen and Brie Piccone. Our podcast is produced by Grace Dunbar and edited by Brie.
That's me. Thanks for listening. Make sure to rate and review us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next week. Bye.